Всем привет, дорогие друзья, и мы продолжаем проходить игрушку под названием NOIRE-Прохождение. Ой, очередное у нас дело, называется оно «Обнаженный город», вроде так называется, и мы сегодня с вами... Блин, опять я не сюда иду. То иди. Тоже не сюда. В общем, продолжаем. Давайте. Пусть он Рой садится. В прошлой серии у нас было дело вроде как подстава, и действительно это дело было, ну, очень прям скучным, я бы сказал, таким, потому что реально мы там в прошлом деле вообще ничем таком, можно сказать, интересным не занимались, мы только следили, отслеживали всех. Это было очень неинтересно, и слава богу, оно закончилось. Посмотрим, что в этом. Но мы пошли на его на блестящий. Опять же, все правильно сделали, без всяких проблем. Посмотрим, как это дело удастся. Ну, посмотрим. На самом деле, мне все-таки будет интересно, когда мы уже перейдем в отдел поджогу, потому что, ну, отдел нравов, честно, пока что меня ничем не удивляет. По-моему, гораздо убийств гораздо лучше. Что-то я протупил, я не могу. Куда нам надо вообще? Что-то я это... Ну, судя по всему, там будет все открыто, да. Ладно, давайте искать. А, ну вот, да. Опа.
Bukowski, you made
да.
homicide. That I did. Good to see you, Phelps.
You two want a hug? Or can we get on with it?
Опа.
Relax, Rusty.
И Расти.
26 years old, fashion model. Found in the tub by the cleaning lady, Mrs. Reynoldson. She called it in.
We heard Carruthers thinks...
Carruthers likes to make work for people. Overdose of sleeping pills. Falls asleep in the tub. Rest in peace. Case closed.
Here, here. Mal is 100% that it's murder.
Do you mind if I take a look around?
Sure. Go right ahead.
А вы что, типа, стали этими напарниками, что ли, тоже? Расти и Бековский. Хотя форма-то у них одинаковая. Ну ладно, давайте смотреть.
Phelps?
Mal, we've had a look around. Rusty thinks it's a waste of time. What's your theory?
Come on, Mal. Tell us why we were dragged down here.
If the victim was alive when she entered the tub, water would have entered her lungs. The water is violently churned in the windpipe as she drowns. The result is that a lot of foam is generated. This foam is found at the mouth and nostrils in almost all cases of real drowning. Notice anything about our Vic?
No, yeah, I took a look.
Be my guest. Take a closer look at her head and neck.
Her neck is bruised pretty badly. Bruising on the forearms, and these look like bite marks.
Very good.
Ну, кольцо.
Very unusual ring.
I could be wrong, but it looks like a black sapphire. The eyes are a classic sign of morphine, and the bruises tell their own story. I think one man held her down, and another held her arm and injected her. Put her in the bath to try to cover it as a drowning.
It spread a trail of barbiturates.
Take a look around outside on your way out and see if you can find the syrettes. It would make my theory.
And morphine would have been very quick, and there wouldn't have been much of a struggle.
Okay, so find two guys who recently bought syrettes and weren't junkies, and you might be onto something.
Is this her in these photos? Something else.
Не, погоди, а насчет этих таблеток-то?
Pretty girl like that? Maybe she was having trouble with some boys, huh? Maybe she got her heart broken. Couldn't take it anymore. So she
Так, давайте посмотрим.
Barbiturates. What else is rattling around in this thing?
Снотворное. Так, давайте здесь посмотрим.
Quality English smoking jacket.
there.
I don't know anyone under 45 who would wear one.
It's okay.
Ну и чувак, ты, конечно, все офигенно, потому что здесь ты все фоткаешь, но, блин. Тут расследование на все.
Looks like barbiturates.
Ну, снотворное, я так и понял, но только почему-то его реально здесь очень много. Ну, до сих пор здесь.
This is all top end of town stuff.
Так,
Gives us somewhere to look.
То есть, там что-то должно написано быть.
It's been a modeling assignment. It's a place to start. Beautiful girl. Clothes certainly aren't from the Sears catalog.
Ну и здесь, естественно, пусто. Ладно. Ой, больше здесь, в принципе, ничего нет. Давайте, в принципе...
I'm Detective Phelps. I'm here to try and help you. Do you mind answering some questions?
Virginia Reynolds. I'm just so shocked. I feel like there's something I should be doing, someone I should call.
We can make those calls, ma'am. Who needs to be notified?
That's just it. I don't know. Miss Julie doesn't have any family in town. Someone has to set her affairs in order. Mr. Henderson, maybe? Who else is there? I don't know.
If you give the details to the other detectives, ma'am, they can try and get in contact. Was Miss Randall depressed about something? Upset?
No more than normal.
Так, еще раз мы почитаю. Так. Ну погоди, мне кажется, это ложь.
What are you hiding here, Mrs. Reynolds? Julia was obviously disturbed about something.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Ну, у нас же это, снотворное есть.
She was taking barbiturates. She couldn't sleep. You must have seen them in her room.
You've seen the pillbox, the things she hid in there. I don't know how she supported herself. Always new clothes and jewelry. She lived like a movie star. A princess. Does modeling really pay that well?
Did Miss Randall have many friends visit?
I'm not sure. I only come around twice a week.
Тоже ложь.
Why are you lying to me, Mrs. Reynolds? Julia had men stay here.
I will not speak ill of the dead. You can't prove that.
Ну как? Этот... Вот, жакет.
Who owns the smoking jacket?
I wouldn't like to tell tales, you understand.
Блин, она лжет капец. Я думал, она будет всю правду говорить. Сразу же видно, она лжет. К субтитрам, можно сказать.
Where would we find him?
I'm sorry. I don't know. He said he lives in San Francisco.
What was it like working for Miss Randall?
Perfectly fine, officer.
Ну вот это ложь точно нет, но мне кажется, это сомнение.
Mrs. Reynolds, it seems like there's something you want to tell me.
She was very high-strung. Lovely one moment and screaming at you the next. She wanted it all, and she wanted it damn quick. Of course, being so beautiful, it seemed like she was going to get it. Not the way it's turned out, though, is it?
Thanks, Mrs. Reynolds. You've been very helpful. One of the other detectives will take your statement, and then you can go home.
В принципе, здесь все.
I'll say hello to the skipper for you. For now, follow up on the narco angle.
А погоди, что я еще не все обыскал. Ничего не понимаю. Может, надо позвонить или что сделать? Да, где-то я улику пропустил одну. Может, на холодильнике.
Circumstantial.
Мелочь. Где-то я улику пропустил. Давайте посмотрим.
I doubt it.
Что-то я здесь по-любому пропустил, я думаю. Да порой, блин. Здесь только вот эти таблетки. Не знаю, использовать интуицию, просто как бы не хочется мне это делать. Блин, вот это еще, ёшка кот. Да-да-да, вот это.
We should speak to her doctor. Prescribing both drugs would make her life a roller coaster.
Теперь точно все. Блин, я уж думал, хотя нет, не все. Слышь, где еще улика? Не, ну это как понятно, это снотворно. Блин, капец. Может, мне надо позвонить или что-нибудь такое сделать, опять же.
Stefan, Rusty, we'll take a look around outside and then follow up these leads. Can you get some guys to run down the jacket?
You think Carruthers has called it right?
He rarely gets it wrong.
I don't know. I'm with Galloway. I've met enough girls in my time who can't handle their dope.
Ничего не понимаю, но у нас почему-то еще одна улика не найдена. Хотя я не понимаю. Ладно, пофиг.
Can you drive to this one?
Поехали.
Well, hello. What can I help you with today?
I'm going to memorize your name and throw my head away.
Advice?
We need to have words with the owner. Find out what kind of employee Julia Randall was.
Say, could I borrow some of that mascara?
Ничего не понимаю, помогать ты нам будешь? С тобой надо поговорить-то.
LAPD,
Do you
ma'am.
think my husband
I
will buy
hope
me
I haven't
that?
done anything wrong.
No, ma'am. We're making some inquiries about Julia Randall. Does she work here?
No, I had to let her go. Is she in some sort of trouble?
She was found dead this morning. How long had Julia worked as a model?
Well, she worked in New York before coming here. She was a very beautiful girl.
Ну, истинная она.
Could you tell us why you let Miss Randall go?
Husbands sometimes come in here with their wives. When Julia Randall modeled, the husbands were often more interested in her than they were their wives' dresses. The wives weren't happy, and neither was I.
Did she have any close friends here?
Actually, yes. Heather Swanson. Would you like to speak with her?
I'd like that very much. Please don't inform her about Miss Randall's death.
Very well, officer. Heather, these gentlemen are from the LAPD.
I'm Detective Phelps. This is Detective Earl. I understand that you worked with Julia Randall, Miss Swanson?
Yes. Julia helped me get my job here. She's not in any kind of trouble, is she?
She's a hellraiser, isn't she? Lives a fast life.
Oh, no. Maybe Mrs. Stanley would call her that, but I wouldn't. She's full of life, a wonderful company.
That's a lovely engagement ring.
Do you like it? Henry gave it to
I'm
me.
very interested in engagement rings. Do you mind if I take a closer look? That's some pearl, Miss Swanson. Would have cost Henry a fortune. He must really love you.
Да ее тоже да спрашиваю.
How did you meet Julia?
I was introduced through my fiancé, Henry Arnett.
Ну, истина.
Henry is your beau. Tell us about it.
Yes, he is. Henry has a fashion business. He and Julia have been friends for years.
Are Miss Randall and Mr. Henderson engaged?
Who's he?
Так, и здесь давайте уже, наверное, спросим у сообщества. А, истина.
She was wearing a sapphire engagement ring. Someone must have given it to her.
She never mentioned a man named Henderson to me.
That's all for now, Miss Swanson. Could you ask your fiancé to visit Hollywood Police Station? It would be very helpful to our inquiry.
Now, wait a moment. I don't think I'll pass on that message until you tell me why you're asking all these questions.
Julia Randall was found dead this morning.
What? Oh, no. Oh, I can't believe it. She was so full of life.
Ну, блин, ребят, ну да, я использовал интуицию, потому что, честно, я вообще не предполагал, что это, блин, могло быть. Капец просто.
You can drive.
Вы бы, наверное,
Nice move.
по-другому тоже не поступили. Хотя нет, ну, блин. Вы бы, наверное, конечно, жизнь. Ну, блин, ну реально, я не понял. Я, кажется, понял, кстати, почему у нас квартира с вами не до конца сделана, потому что, судя по всему, ее надо было допросить еще немножко. То есть, судя по всему, там еще один вопрос надо было допросить. Мы этого не сделали. Улики там, наверное, все нашли, а забыли допрос сделать еще. Ладно. Пофиг. Может, сейчас съездим, конечно, не знаю, почему бы нет. Мне кажется, все уже. Да и не так, в принципе, важно. Я думаю, самое главное, это мы узнали. Куда я иду? А, это выход. Я вот опять не понимаю, что все тороплюсь куда-то. Не понимаю просто.
I swear, if we locked up every doctor in this town, Vice would be able to work half days.
Так, где ты?
Yes, sir, your name?
LAPD. We'd like to see Dr. Stoneman.
Dr. Stoneman is with a patient. Would you like to wait?
No, we wouldn't. Tell him we want to see him now.
There's no need to be rude.
Save it, sister.
Dr. Stoneman, I have some gentlemen from the LAPD here to see you.
Send them in, please. I'll see this patient again after they've left.
Dr. Stoneman, we are investigating the death of one of your patients, Julia Randall.
I'm very sorry to hear that.
Do you mind if we ask you some questions about Ms. Randall?
Not if it doesn't compromise doctor-patient privilege, Detective.
How well did you know Miss Randall?
Barely at all. She'd only been a patient 6 months or so.
Ну, тоже точно неправда. О, боже. А что у нас это по этим? по уликам.
You didn't like her, did you?
It wasn't a question of like, detective. She was incredibly beautiful. When you looked in her eyes,
падла, да елки, откуда, ну как? А чё ему должен был предъявить-то? Он что, он знал, что ли, ее?
You wrote Julia Randall a prescription for Benzedrine. How can you account for that?
Miss Randall was in the fashion business. She wanted to control her weight.
Истина. Сука.
Benzedrine is addictive, as I'm sure you know, doctor.
As I warned her, but she was determined. She said she needed it to control her appetite.
Sounds like you knew her pretty well.
I knew the line of work she was involved in.
That'll be all for now, Dr. Stoneman. We'll be in touch.
Ну, блин, ребят, прошу прощения.
Operator, give me dispatch.
Просто реально, откуда я должен был это знать? У меня что было? У меня, собственно, какие-то улики были.
Phelps, badge 1247.
Я, конечно, понял, что ему надо было предъявлять. Что я затупил. Я понял, что надо было ему предъявлять.
Any messages?
Yes, detective. The coroner's been asking to speak to you. I can connect the call if you like.
Please, thank you. Al?
Cole, can you get over here? I just finished the autopsy.
Sure thing, Mal. We'll be right over.
Я, кажется, понял, знаете, что я должен был предъявить? Да ее... Твою дивизию, а? Нет, ладно, я не буду показывать, что реально плохо все. Выглядит все ужасно. Нету ничего здесь. Ладно, поехали. Я хочу, на самом деле, сейчас в квартирку бы съездить, наверное, не против бы.
Your investigation is much more important than my sciatica. I'm just in pain here.
Да пошел ты нафиг. Поехали.
The old boy is lying.
About what?
I don't know. He looked relieved when you said she was dead. It's a strange reaction to have to the death of a young patient.
Я ему вот что хотел предъявить сейчас. Нормально вроде. Мне кажется, вот это все-таки рецепт. Может нет, ладно. Наплевать. Я думаю, на самом деле, может в квартиру вернуться, ребята. Давайте вернемся на квартиру. Может, что-то я там могу еще сделать. Мне кажется, там что-то... Хотя, да ну нафиг. Ну не поедем в эту квартиру, в принципе. Давайте в голливудскую больницу. Некогда нам на это отвлекаться сейчас.
You drive. I need to go over the case notes.
Так, ну что там?
She wants a 5-star goddamn wedding.
Cole, Roy, I have some information for you.
You're the only person enjoying this, Mal. Get on with it.
The bruising confirms 2 sets of hands, so we have 2 killers. Death was caused by heart failure due to an overdose of morphine.
Have you dragged us down here to gloat? We already heard your theory.
We agree that she was murdered.
Yes, of course.
I have something else to show you.
All right, Mal, what gives?
The dead guy's name is Jimmy LeBlanc, career burglar. He came in this morning. Someone stove his head in with a lump of 2x4.
So what? Good riddance.
I found 2 cigarettes in his jacket pocket.
Wow.
Hang on a minute, Roy. We're listening, Mal.
No sign of morphine use and no metabolized morphine in his blood. Scratch marks on his face.
Which could be from getting his head remodeled.
Time of death, Mal.
Maybe an hour or two after the Randall girl.
So you're saying Laughing Boy here could be one of our killers? That's a hell of a long shot.
Thanks, Mal. We'll check it out.
I found something else. You need to get back to the case, detective. I've got reports to write.
Погоди, а что ты хотел там? А, найти, что я нажал.
Sorry, I don't play.
I don't know if it's significant. His wallet was empty. The only other things he was carrying were the harmonica and the morphine. Carruthers. Yeah, he's here. I'll send him over. They have a guy called Henry Arnett in interview 2 for you next door. Let me know how you get on.
Sure, Mal. And thanks for the lead.
Sure, Mel. Thanks for the lead.
Ну, поехали. Чего я здесь-то не нашел? Чего опять не так-то, блин? Неужели мне опять интуицию надо будет сейчас интуицию применять? Чего я не нашел-то здесь?
Rehab is for quit.
Ну и все по сути. Ладно, поехали. Хрен с ним уже реально. Так а чё, Глюцкое все, что здесь рядом. Такое близко. Так, ну чё там? Прям так все понятно объяснил. Второй допросный. Где это? Вторая допросная. Это первая. Нам нужна вторая. Вторая вот это, да? Да, вторая.
Mr. Arnett, I'm Detective Phelps. This is Detective Earl. Thanks for coming in.
Call me Henry. It's the least I could do. Terrible news about Julia.
How well did you know Julia Randall?
Vaguely. I'm in the clothing business, and Julia occasionally modeled for me.
Ну, истина. Чего?
Close. We were friends.
Ох ты! Он же... О, я поторопился, что ли?
Miss Randall's landlady said she was seeing an older man.
Could have been. I wasn't privy to all the details of Julia's private life.
Spill it, Henry. You know nothing about a man named Henderson?
Твою...
Yes, you're right. Henderson, yeah. Very distinguished.
How about a first name, wise guy? An address, maybe?
I'm sorry, I don't. I think he lives somewhere out of town. Somewhere back east.
Ой, я дурак. Господи.
Ever heard of a Jimmy LeBlanc?
No. Should I have? Is he an entertainer or something?
Сволочь, а?
I think you're lying. I think Randall was a high-priced hooker, and this Henderson character didn't want it to come out that he had been seeing her. I think he had LeBlanc and an accomplice bump her off. I think you know who Henderson is, and you're trying to conceal his identity.
I think you've been out in the sun too long without your hat. Prove that I know who Henderson is.
Ну нет, это, наверное, сомнений все-таки. Что-то я реально... Хорошо, давай сомнения, пофигу на тебе, давай сомнения.
So you wouldn't have any reason to believe that LeBlanc would be involved in Julie Randall's murder? If this guy is a criminal, he might have been involved. But like I said, I've never heard of this LeBlanc character. Heather told us that you were in fashion. That's right.
I think we bust in there and find the goddamn.
You're some kind of traveling salesman? Once I got out of the Corps, I used my... You were in the Marines? Sure. I'm proud of it. Fighting 6th. You were in the 6th Marines? Yes. I was a captain. Which company? Various companies. We had a lot of casualties. Which engagements? Okinawa. A couple of other places. That will be all for now, Henry. You've been very helpful.
That son of a bitch was never in the Marines. Why'd you let him off the hook?
Because we're giving him a couple of minutes before we start tailing him. Arnett is an amateur. We need to find out who killed the girl. Can you pass this on to Bukowski? Have him check the place out and go through his records.
Sure, I'll pass it on.
Thanks. Can you also have R&I run the records on a Jimmy LeBlanc and find out who was his last arresting officer? Have them get in touch via KGPL when they have some information.
He's in that car at the lights.
He was squirming like a worm in there. Don't you love it when they pull the war hero excuse? Actually, maybe you don't.
Can you quit driving like a jackass already?
Господи, как же меня бесит все эти наблюдения. Думаю, все, они типа закончились, они никогда не закончатся.
I'd have expected a cad like Arnett to be a better liar.
Нормально на красный разъезжает. На красный там вот все ездит. Ну это, конечно, круто, но, блин.
Where are you taking us, Henry?
Блин, да мне сейчас капец.
Now would be a bad time to forget how to drive.
Ну как не забывать? На красный что ли? Ничего стоять что ли, пока он едет? Сам бы сел бы и вез бы, блин. Ни разу никого не допрашивал, блин.
Careful, we'll get spotted at this distance.
That idiot never stepped foot in Okinawa.
Это, наверное, знаете, почему я слежу? Наверное, потому что я облажался в допросе. Если бы он был вот правда боевик, то тогда бы, может быть, все было нормально бы. А судя по всему, это я опять облажался.
He needs money and fast. Get in there and find out what he pawned. I'll stick with him, see how he intends to spend the money. Too much slack. Gotta get closer.
Hoof it, Phelps. I'll bring the car around when I'm done here.
Ну, блин, опять надо это все. Капец. Опять надо идти за кем-то. Блин, вот это реально бесит, честно признаться, потому что я терпеть не могу вот эти все ходилки такие, нет. Так, тихо. Инкогнито. Отлично. Сейчас заметит, кажется. Блин. Лишь бы не спалил. Так, отлично, докуда вы дошли. Но здесь немножко поменьше, конечно, дистанция, как в прошлый раз было, в прошлый раз дольше было. Больше.
That's right, Mexico City. One-way ticket, please. Next available seat.
That would be 1 day from now. Is that okay?
It's going to have to be.
Ага, теперь надо еще будет следить до машины, что ли, за ним. А, нет.
LAPD, the man who just came in here, he bought a ticket?
Yes, sir. To Mexico City, tomorrow night.
If you hear from him again, don't mention this conversation.
Ну да, судя по всему, за ним надо.
What have you got?
Или нет?
He bought a ticket from Mexico City. Tomorrow night.
That's good. But this is better.
Опа, невидимка открыт достижение.
Should have seen the
за ним
look on the
следить не надо
pawnbroker's
будет.
face when I told him to hand it over.
А
The
его
guy who
нельзя.
owned the joint thought it was worth at least 10 large for a cigarette case. Arnett only got 600 clams.
А, вот открыть можно. И что нам делать? А, зачем? Я думал, делать нечего до завтра. Надо позвонить.
Operator, give me R&I.
Putting you through now.
Coul Felps, badge 1247.
How could I help, Detective?
Messages, please.
Yes, Detective. Detectives Bukowski and Galloway request you return to the Hollywood station. They have information in the Julia Randall case.
Any luck with the arrest record check on Jimmy LeBlanc?
Yes, Detective. Jimmy LeBlanc's last arresting officer was Patrolman Fred Wallace. He's posted the Hollywood 9th Beat Sunset Boulevard between Gordon and Wilcox.
Thanks.
Ну, поехали.
Can't we talk about this?
Навизируй.
You're behind the wheel.
Talks frankly concerning the attitude of the producers.
We're accused of having communists.
Come on, let's give him a hand.
Right behind you, Wallace. Detective Phelps.
Wallace, go left. I'm going right after this little prick in the alley.
Сволочь! Его, я думаю, убивать не надо, я так получилось. Мешает ж, как этот патруль мешает мне, блин. Только хотел застрелить. Ну, началось, блин.
Throw out the guns. Move, I got you. Stay down.
Give me some goddamn cover!
Так тебе.
Thanks. Outstanding warrant, armed robbery. Knocked over a drugstore back there, and it looks like he brought his whole posse with him. Bad luck for them.
They're all yours now. We need some information. Ever heard of a burglar goes by the name of Jimmy LeBlanc?
Sure. Nabbed Jimmy on a burglary beef a couple of years back. They cut through a music shop and into a jewelry store. He got 4 years. I miss his partner, though.
His partner?
Big guy. I had him cornered, and he picked up this huge display case and threw it out a plate glass window. Then he vaulted out of there like something out of Barnum and Bailey.
Got away.
I would have had him, except for LeBlanc yelling, "Run for it, Willie!"
And you think he was an acrobat of some sort?
More like a strongman, a wrestler, or a boxer, that kind of thing.
Thanks. You've been a big help.
You haven't done too badly yourself.
Куда нам надо сейчас вопрос? Как бы все закончилось. Ну, поехали в голливудское отделение.
You know the way. You can drive.
We caught up with Mal. He's given us the dope on LeBlanc.
He worked burglaries with a big guy. Goes by the name of Willie. He might be our killer. Can you work boxing gyms, the Y, promoters, that kind of stuff?
Since when have you started giving orders, Phelps? And where's the burglary angle? There was no sign of a...
That's where our net comes in. Next stop, we speak to Lacey about a list of recent burglaries.
The guy's a bum. His office is a front, and he's behind on the rent and his phone bill.
And he's skipping town. Tomorrow.
Let's get him in and beat it out of him.
Do you want to bring in the killer, Rusty?
You could be too smart for your own good, Phelps. We've been talking about that, haven't we, Roy? Stefan?
Finbar?
Они почему-то все курят, капец.
Sir, I need the contraband list. Items stolen over the last year.
Hang on, I'll dig out a copy for you. Here you go.
Thanks. Is the cigarette case on there? Even the engagement ring was purloined. Our net is a cad.
Так. Нет, ну и чё, ну как бот мы посмотрели.
It's here.
На, во.
Arnett must be out of his mind trying to move this while under a murder cloud.
Еще чё.
Seems Julia wasn't the first bored society girl to hide her bennies in that pillbox.
Так. Ну, по сути, все.
Julia Randall's ring. It's here.
А, все. Ой, ну давай, дом в семье.
I was door knocking all morning, but I gotta make up.
You can drive.
In the end.
Поехали.
Nice house.
LAPD, ma'am. Is Mrs. Eavestrom in?
She is. Would you follow me, sir?
I am Mrs. Eavestrom. How may I help you?
We appear to have recovered some stolen goods that belong to you, ma'am.
Yes, of course. That terrible burglary. Would you like something to drink?
No, thank you, ma'am. We have some questions, if you don't mind.
Why would I mind, young man, if you are returning 43 pieces of my property?
Okay, before we get down to that, I'll have a scotch. Thanks, straight up.
Maria, can you get the detective a drink, please?
Ну, как всегда. Ой, неужели все это мне надо?
Can you describe to us what was stolen?
It would be easier to describe what wasn't stolen, detective. A priceless tiara that has been in the family for 50 years. A Fabergé cigarette case that was worth $25,000.
So you have no idea who did this burglary? A lot of these cases tend to be inside jobs.
О, боже.
How dare you impugn my character? And the character of my staff.
Уже надо было ложь на зацепок.
If you have no further
Ай,
questions,
ладно.
I suggest you leave.
Боже, ладно.
What can you tell us about the burglary?
A terrible night. At least a year ago. But let's not go into that. Let's talk about what you've recovered.
Ну, истина получается.
Were you in the house when the burglary took place?
Good heavens, no. I was at a social function held by a Dr. Harold Stoneman and his lovely wife. I returned home and all of my things were missing.
That's about it for now, Mrs. Eavestrom. The department will get in touch and let you know how you can recover your valuables.
You have only mentioned a few of the items that have been stolen, Detective. What else has been recovered?
You see, Phelps? That's why you get the drinks in early.
Hello, Mother. Hello, detectives. What is going on?
We'd like to ask exactly the same question.
You have met my daughter?
This morning at work. Oh, Mother and Father divorced. I took my father's name.
The detectives recovered some of the things that were stolen, darling.
What did you find?
A sapphire ring on the corpse of Julia Randall.
What are you talking about?
Your engagement ring, Miss Swanson. Would you be surprised to know that it was part of the proceeds of a burglary?
That's an outrageous allegation.
Yes, it is. I suggest we go straight to Henry Arnett's place and sort this mess out.
You're suggesting LeBlanc is still working with Willie?
A strong man held down Randall while someone administered the morphine. Someone with muscle opened up LeBlanc's skull. Could be.
Ладно, поехали разбираться.
missing something here. Arnett is obviously arranged two burglaries.
That's my fiance you're making scurrilous accusations about.
And Randall was obviously his partner.
But neither of them are the type to creep apartments.
You're being ridiculous. Both of you. There's a very good explanation for all of this.
What a sock in it, sister. You're being played for a patsy and you're not even smart enough to see it.
О-хо-хо, прям вообще почти протиснулся. Ну ладно. А он далеко вообще живет? Так, мы... Неужели он где-то здесь живет? Я могу, чтоб ты вел? Блин, я еще врезался, капец. Отвлекся. Ну поехали, ладно. Падла, это очень далеко. Да блин, да что ты заворачиваешь-то? Заворачивай-то.
Look out!
Так, сюда. Смотри, не останавливается. Обычно останавливаться должен. Что ты делаешь? Мне кажется, все, мы даже допрашивать не будем. Хотя, хрен знает.
Come on, sister. Let's find out who your fiancé really is.
Welcome, sir. I'm sorry, are you a resident?
LAPD detectives. We're here to speak to Henry Arnett.
Oh, Mr. Arnett? Apartment 30. You can take the lift.
Thank you.
Arnett is in 30,
What
Cole.
next?
Let's pay him a visit.
Well, isn't this just nice and awkward?
Stop! LAPD! Don't kill him, Cole. This guy's our case.
Go on,
Put your hands in the air.
Стоять! Сволочь, куда он? Сюда.
Give it up, LAPD.
А, блин! Чтобы не упасть. А, он здесь 100%. Так и знал. Короче, не поймал, да, ты? А, нет, поймал.
Looks like he got you good, Phelps.
Yeah, he really packs a wallop. How did I get back here?
Under your own steam, miraculously. You came in through the window, said hello, and then keeled over.
How was Arnett?
He's coming around, too. He's all hopped up. Good time to get some answers.
You missing something, Henry?
Really, now is not the time. Leave me alone.
Это не надо.
This doesn't pertain to the case.
Ну, конечно, это не относится к Фелпсу. Так, все. Значит, получается, нам где-то здесь надо искать с вами.
Probably nothing.
Ну, что ты мне прикажешь обыскивать, дорогой? И здесь ничего нету.
I don't think so.
Я не понимаю, ребят, что если обыскивать надо, то что-то мне вообще... Ладно, хорошо, здесь нету.
We know all about the jewelry ring. You and Randall and LeBlanc and Willie doing the legwork. I'm in the fashion business.
Да как?
Your office is empty and you're behind on the rent.
Твою... Как? У него глаза ведь
Why did Reed and
ничего.
LeBlanc kill Julia Randall? I wanted to stop, to get out of that life. I was going to marry Heather if she'd have me. Julia told the others that they were out, that she was going to create a new gang. You're lying, Arnett. I think you ordered them to kill her. It was made to look like suicide, and when the coroner saw through that, you knew it was time to run. I told you I was involved in the burglaries. I had nothing to do with Julia's death. Why would I need to run?
Ой.
Looks like I was mistaken.
Давай сомнения. Да, опять нет.
You wanted Julia Randall out of your
Я не
life.
знаю, чем доказывать, ребятки, вот серьезно.
Julia was our friend.
Капец, мне кажется, мы это дело
Julia
провалим,
was his
потому
hump,
что...
sweetheart. They were the Bonnie and Clyde of society burglars. He met you and realized he didn't have to steal anymore. He could just mooch from you. He needed Julie out of the way.
Мне кажется, мы это дело провалим, потому что, ну, оно реально, я не понимаю, честно, что, как его допросить, потому что действительно, ёлки. Капец. То ли я не понимаю, доказательства не могу ему какие-то предъявить, то ли у меня их просто нету.
Who is Henderson, and what is his involvement?
tell them what you know, Henry. I'll stand by you if you'll only tell the truth.
There is no Henderson. Tell me about your first burglary, and don't lie.
I can't remember. I don't keep a list of these things.
It's like I made a mistake.
Хорошо, давайте интуицию. Ложь, надо что-то ему предъявлять, ребятки. Надо что-то ему предъявить, но я не знаю чего. Первая кража. Откуда я узнаю этих... Оно же единственное.
Your first burglary was a Dr. Harold Stoneman. You want to explain how he is involved, or shall I?
Henderson is Stoneman. He was crazy about Julia. She could get him to do whatever she wished. He threw the parties, and we arranged the burglaries. Julia never let him touch her. She just kept him hanging on the promise. Drove the good doctor almost insane.
Henry Arnett, you are under arrest for burglary and for the murder of Julia Randall.
Henderson is Stoneman, all right? I'm not the guy you want. Go talk to the good doctor.
Oh, we will, knucklehead. Meanwhile, we're fitting you for convict stripes.
Капец. Мне кажется, мы завалим это дело, потому что что-то у меня реально... Не, будет, конечно, хорошо, если дело закончится на хорошо, на 3 звезды, но мне кажется, провалим. Ну елки, еще допрашивать доктора. Да, долгое дело на самом-то деле, но, блин, что делать? Поехали допрашивать. Ну, мы по-любому провалим, я думаю, хотя я не знаю, ну, думаю, провалим, потому что, ну, как-то я сейчас все реально плохо допрашиваю, можно сказать. Доктор, ты где? Это выход. Погоди, так я в квартиру, что ли, приехал? Куда? А, нет, клинику. Я думал, квартиру. Блин, забыл, что это квартира.
Time for the doctor to give us something to make this all better.
Блин, все сбой, сюда надо идти.
Hang on a moment, sister. Tell him it's Henry Arnett. And tell him it's urgent.
I can't do that.
Tell him, or I'll charge you with obstruction of justice.
Doctor, I'm afraid Mr. Arnett is here to see you, and he says it's urgent.
Send him in.
I told you never to come.
Tell us the truth, Doctor.
I'm so glad you came. Prison will be better than insanity, and I'm already half insane with grief. Do you know that I loved her? I ruined my life for her, and yet I still love her.
Will you testify in court that Arnett and Randall did these robberies?
They organized the robberies. Julie would get the names of the guests attending my wife's parties. Didn't matter how much money I showered upon her, it was never enough. She never really cared for me.
Doctor, I'm afraid you're under arrest.
Нам даже не пришлось допрашивать никого.
The practice. You'll call Dr. Gerard. No. Please don't cry. I want to see no one. Not my wife or my children, nor my friends. And I don't want a lawyer. Just lock me up and throw away the key. What have I done?
Офигенно.
Didn't see that coming.
Ну еще этого нам не хватало. Ну хотя он покончил сам с собой, но это нам уже расследовать смысла нету.
Operator, message for KGPL.
Putting you through now.
I need an ambulance and the coroner immediately to the offices of Dr. Harold Stoneman, 1646 Ivor Street, Hollywood.
En route, Detective. You have a message. Detective Bukowski says the suspect is named Wilson Willie the Wolf Reed, former wrestler. Last known address is an apartment building at the corner of Hollywood and Vine. Detective Bukowski says to meet them there.
On our way. We have an address for the runner.
Let's try and wrap this up then.
Да капец, это еще не конец. Это ужас. Я уже думал, все как бы, но нет, блин.
That old boy really fell for that broad.
She was incredibly beautiful.
Would you throw it all away for a woman?
Life has a way of making you pay for your pride.
You're quite the romantic, Phelps. Stick with the percentages. Broken hearts are for chumps.
You're talking from experience.
I certainly am. Oh, I like women as much as the next guy. As long as they're in their place and doing what they're told.
Поехали.
You drive. You go over the case notes.
Плевать на чью машину такую. Поехали.
He's around here somewhere. A big guy. Neighbors say he always wears basketball shoes and a cream jacket. And get this. The kids around here say he plays the harmonica.
Find a game well and have the commander set up a dragnet. We want the area closed off. We'll take this out of the street.
A harmonica playing wrestler. That's a weird one. Think he knits as well?
Что я не понял, что мне надо делать?
Your eyes open and your mouth shut. We don't want him to bolt on us.
Wait. Cole. You hear that?
Как мне его разыскать, вопрос?
He wouldn't be that way.
Wilson Reed, LAPD, give yourself up.
Нормально ты. Какая падла живучая, а? Сволочь, а? Да он не мог. Не, что-то тут не так, ребятки. Что-то тут не так, потому что, ну я не знаю, он не мог. Просто он уже упал. Вот я ему вот, все попал. Ёлки в голову.
Son of a bitch really picked a spot for it up here, didn't he? Julia Randall's folks are flying in from New York tomorrow to claim the body. I saw her on the slab. So perfect. Looked like she was made of porcelain. She really made an impression on me.
Julia had that impact on a lot of men.
Christ, it's cold. You guys did good work here today. Roy, I think you should buy your brother officers a drink.
Do you now? That's very generous of you, Lieutenant.
Ой, ну опять, короче. Так, 8 миллионов историй. Да, написано, просто я из-за записи плохо вижу. Ну хорошо, ну слава богу не завалил. Ребят, дело, честно, для меня не самое легкое было, но слава богу, главное не завалил. Главное не завалил. 2 улики не нашел, в квартире, судя по всему, 1 улику не нашел и еще где-то. Ладно. Ой, главное прошли, слава богу, я уж думал, вообще будет все плохо, но, блин, 6 вопросов неправильно. Но дело тоже не скажу, что легкое, ну ладно. Давайте смотреть следующее дело и закончим на этом серию. Действительно, серия сегодня тоже не маленькая, опять получилась. Да, 8 миллионов историй.
We're being overrun. We have to get off of this hill.
That's one of our 50 cals still firing, Cole. The 22nd are still fighting.
It's over, Cole. Looks like you're one of the lucky ones.
Say goodbye to your friend Hank, Jack.
He was your friend too, Cole. Is this how you're going to leave him? Are you wounded?
Not a scratch, Kelso.
Well, get up and get out of that fucking hole! Find a stretcher while you're at it so we can get him out of here.
Who's the senior officer here?
I guess that's you, Cole.
You were up here all night?
Yes, sir.
And your command?
Gone, sir.
Sorry to hear that, son. God damn it, we have beaten these bastards back. It's the beginning of the end, and it was one here. You're a goddamn hero, son. What's your name?
Lieutenant Phelps, sir.
I'm recommending you for the Silver Star and promoting you to First Lieutenant.
Божественное предопределение.
Earl Phelps. A shooting at the
Предопределение.
111
Не знаю, как так.
6232 Hollywood Boulevard. Sounds like a homicide beef. 2 of the dead guys caught in the crossfire were carrying Army surplus morphine. Get over there before homicide tramples all over the place.
О, господи, опять ты орешь постоянно.
Judge in Pasadena took the big sleep yesterday. He had a personal stash of 20 cigarettes. Appears we didn't get all of it.
Ладно, отправимся с вами обязательно, но опять же, это все будет в следующей серии. Да, Фелпс что-то не постоянно. Ой, увидимся с вами в следующей серии. Это была игрушка NOIRE-Прохождение. Продолжим уже опять же. У нас опять здесь улик. Это дело было на самом деле, ну, дело наше было действительно нелегким, но, слава богу, хорошо, пока не провалились, самое главное. Кстати, газету могу справить. Могу. Жалко. Ладно, все. Спасибо всем за просмотр. Ставьте лайки, подписывайтесь на канал. Мы увидимся с вами в следующей серии. Это была игрушка под названием NOIRE. До новых встреч. Всем удачи. Всем пока.